Hey y'all, what's up? It's Amanda and I'm back with another video. So today's video we are in a little bit of a different spot. We are in front of my books that you kind of can see in the background of my videos. If you've noticed, I don't know. I have these 3 bookshelves that are all my unread books. So I'm just going to go through them real quick. What we're going to be doing though, before I get into that, we are going to be unhauling some books, okay? I know I did a big unhaul in the beginning of this year, but that was with all of my read books, which are downstairs in my basement. These are all of my unread books. So we are just going to be a little cutthroat. I feel like getting rid of books. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, so let's get right on into the unhaul. What I want to talk about first is the way I have my books set up. If you can see, I have this like middle shelf that is a little taller than the other 2. This middle shelf is all of my nonfiction, and then the other 2 shorter shelves over here are all of my fiction books, and it's all alphabetized. I don't have it by genre or anything like that. It's just easier for me to do it alphabetically by last name. So that's how I organize my books. So let's go onto this first shelf. So we're gonna go through this first shelf. I just took this off because it was just on display like that. But this is Andre Aciman's Find Me, which is a sequel to Call Me By Your Name. I've been very hesitant about unhauling this because, to be honest, like I read Call Me By Your Name and I loved it, but do I want to revisit the characters? Not really. I don't know. I'm gonna pull this off the shelf. You let me know in the comments if I should keep it or not. Okay? Next, we have all these books over here. To be honest, these books I don't feel like unhauling because they're all books that I do plan on reading. I have a lot of Frederick Bachman. I have Julia Armfield, which I read Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, and I loved it, so I got her other book, Salt Slow. Then I have Bookshops and Bone Dust up here, and then some Leigh Bardugo, which I want to get into the Grishaverse, so that those books are staying on my shelf. Then I have some of these books over here. This book, I kind of want to unhaul because I got it like 3 or 4 years ago. But I think I'm going to keep it because I like the author. She's like an Instagrammer, whatever. This one, however, Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi, I'm getting rid of this one because it's been on my TBR for literally like at least 5 years. It's one of the oldest books on my TBR. And yeah, I'm going to be getting rid of this one. I've been thinking about getting rid of this one, When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, but I heard that it has a good twist, so I'm kind of hesitant about it. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. Okay, now this next shelf. I have a lot of like really interesting books on this shelf, so I don't know if there's anything I really want to get rid of. I'm so bad at unhauling, you guys, like it's terrible. Okay, yeah, I looked through this shelf and it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting rid of any of those, so let's go on to the next shelf. Yeah, so this bottom shelf, I do have a couple that I want to get rid of, and it's all in this stack, so I kind of have to disturb this stack. Okay, so these are the 3 books that I picked off the shelf. The first one is How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson. I haven't heard anybody talk about this book, to be honest, so I don't know, like, is it good or not? I don't know. So there's nothing really enticing me to keep it, so I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. Also, I know this is an unhaul, but like, if there's any books that you see me unhauling that you're like, wait, I want to see you read that, comment it down below, okay? Because I'll do a reading vlog about it. I will do as you say. The next one is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This one I'm a little hesitant to get rid of just because it's like such a beloved book, you know what I mean? but I've had it for so long and I just haven't picked it up. Comment down below if you think that this will be a good book to read. I heard it's kind of like sad, and I don't know if I'm down for that. I don't know, this is in the maybe pile. And then this next one is one that I keep coming back to. Every time I do like an unhaul, I look at this book and I'm like, yeah, I want to get rid of you. And then I read the inside and I'm like, oh wait, that sounds interesting. And then I keep it. This is The Kindest Lie by Nancy Johnson. So I'm going to read the inside. It says, a promise could betray you. It's 2008 and the rise of Barack Obama ushers in a new kind of hope. In Chicago, Ruth Tuttle, an Ivy League educated black engineer, is married to a kind and successful man. He's eager to start a family, but Ruth is uncertain. She has never gotten over the baby she gave birth to and was forced to give up when she was a teenager. She had promised her family she'd never look back, but Ruth knows that to move forward she must make peace with the past. I don't know, it's about the 2008 financial crisis. I don't know if that synopsis gave you anything, but it's about the 2008 financial crisis, and I don't know really if I care about that enough to keep this, so I think I'm going to get rid of this one. Let's look on this side. Don't mind the dust that just flew everywhere. The only other thing that I can see that I think I want to get rid of is this one, The Paris Bookseller by Carrie Maher. Let me know if any of you have read this one. It looks cool. It's like a painting. The cover is like a painting. This one says, it is the dramatic story of how a humble bookseller fought against incredible odds to bring one of the most important books of the 20th century to the world. When bookish young American Sylvia Beach opens Shakespeare and Company on a quiet street in Paris in 1919, she has no idea that she and her new bookstore will change the course of literature itself. So I think this is this a nonfiction or a fiction? I don't know. Tell me if this is a nonfiction or a fiction book. It sounds very interesting because I think it's based on the true story of the owner of Shakespeare and Company. So this sounds actually kind of interesting. Do I want to keep it? This is going in the maybe pile. Okay, so we're over here. We're going to be looking at the rest of my fiction books before we get into the nonfiction. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be doing. So this top shelf. There's so many books that I have and I'm just like, do I really want to go through all of these right now? I guess that's what we're doing. So the first two that I see are this one. This is A Burning by Megha Majumdar. This is another Book of the Month book from 2020. It's a debut. I don't know. I just haven't heard people talking about this. So I have no like pull towards it, you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. And then there's this other one, Cherish Farah by Bethany C. Morrow. This is like a mystery thriller as far as I'm aware. But to be honest, I've never read anything from Bethany C. Morrow, so there's nothing really, and it's YA, okay? That's another thing. But I've never read anything from Bethany C. Morrow, so I don't have any like I said, any pull towards it, like, oh, I want to read that. I think it's so cool. I think I just honestly picked this up because I heard like one person talk about it. So I'm getting rid of this one. Okay, so this is The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. I honestly picked this up because Meg with Books read it, or she was like hyping it up or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, I want to read that. And then I don't even think she ended up liking it in the end, so I'm like, why am I still keeping it? I don't know. I don't really care. It's like a used copy as well, which is not anything to say like I hate used copies. It's just like it's not in the greatest condition. The dust jacket is a little worn. And I don't know, I just am not in a mystery thriller mood. I was telling this to my boyfriend and his mom the other day. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I've been reading like romances and like literary fiction, not like mystery thrillers. So I think I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay, hear me out. But this is YA, and it's a movie, and I feel like this is very 2016, 2017 core. So that's not, that was 8 years ago. I am not in that same headspace. So I think I'm just gonna get rid of this one. Yeah. Also, I want to say all of these books will be featured on my Pango. I will have my Pango linked down below in the description. So yeah, hopefully by the time I post this, they will be listed on my Pango. Okay, so we're on to the bottom 2 shelves of my fiction. This one, honestly, just the one right off the bat, I literally had it in my unhaul pile, and I took it out because I was like, ooh, it's so pretty. But honestly, like, what even is this about? Honestly, I don't care what it's about because I'm never gonna read this. So I'm gonna unhaul this one. This might be controversial, but I've never read A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith, and I don't think I'm ever going to read it. I don't even know what it's about. Let's read it together. Oh, there's no description on the back. Betty Smith's A Tree Grows in Brooklyn has enchanted millions of readers over the past 75 years. A poignant tale filled with laughter and heartache, crowded with life, incident, and unforgettable characters. Smith's beloved novel tells the story of Francine Nolan and her bittersweet formative years growing up in the Williamsburg slums of Brooklyn, New York at the turn of the 20th century. The daily experiences of idealistic young Francie are raw with honesty and tenderly threaded with family connectedness. Smith has created a work of literary art that brilliantly captures a unique time and place as well as deeply resonant moments of universal experience. I'm gonna be honest, this is almost 500 pages. I'm not a girly that reads over 500 pages, or I'm not a girly that reads over 300 page books, with the exception of this year, because this year I've gotten into more, but I'm not holding any promises here. I'm not keeping any promises that that'll continue. So this one I'm just not into. Okay, I think that's it for that shelf. We're gonna go on to the bottom shelf here. Okay, I have a question for y'all. Has anybody read The Lifeguards by Amanda Eyre Ward? If so, this is going in my maybe pile. Okay, I might be getting rid of this one. So let me know if it's good or not. I've never read from any of the authors that blurbed it, so that is not a good sign. I've never heard of any of these authors. Controversial, but I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is Memorial by Brian Washington. This, I remember, is about 2 men who I think are dating. I don't think they're like married yet. And one of the men is estranged from his father or something like that, but then ends up finding out his father is sick, but like across the world he is sick. So he flies across the world to see his father. Meanwhile, his mother comes to live with his boyfriend. And so it's just about their different experiences. The boyfriend with the other guy's mom, and then the other boyfriend with his father. I hope that made sense. But I don't know. I've had this forever, and okay, weird, but I just opened it. It has a bookmark in it. Leave me to my books. I got this from a little free library. It was also upside down in the dust jacket, so that's cool. That just shows you I never opened this. I picked it up from the little free library and I was like, yes! And I never opened it. Anyways, now it should be, yeah, it's right side up now. Anyways, this one, yeah, I don't know. I realized that I just got rid of all of my Book of the Month books, and I wanted to say I've never had a Book of the Month subscription. These are just books that I have bought from like resellers or I found in little free libraries. So yeah. I also have a ton of Ruth Ware, and I've never read Ruth Ware ever, so let me know if you want to see me do a reading vlog. I have The Woman in Cabin 10, which I've never read before. I have One by One, and I have The It Girl. So let me know if you want to see a reading vlog or something like that. That'll be fun. I have this book, which is an anthology, and there are some authors on the front cover that I've always wanted to read from, but I've never actually read from yet. But I've never heard anybody talk about this book. It's called Black Enough, Stories of Being Young and Black in America. Let me know if this is good, because this is maybe going on my maybe pile. I'm just like not 100% convinced about this one. It sounds interesting, but I also don't know, like, is this YA? Does it read very young? Let me know if you read this. Okay, we're moving on to my nonfiction shelves. This is the first one. I don't know if really there's anything from my nonfiction I want to get rid of. It is packed with stuff, but that doesn't really bother me. This is the only one that I would possibly get rid of, but I'm not 100% convinced I want to get rid of it, just because even though we don't speak of that series, I do want to read this memoir that Tom Felton wrote. I don't know, I just feel like it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to keep that. Let's go to the second shelf. This is hard. Nonfiction is way harder for me to get rid of because I'm just like, I love reading nonfiction. Anyways. I recently got this book, which is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I'm not getting rid of this one. I just wanted to say I'm excited to read this one. I'm going to put it out like this. Okay, we're going to look at the bottom shelf here. I just realized. This I got from like a little free library at my community college when I went to community college. This is Everything Sad is Untrue. This is an arc, I believe, and this is by Daniel Nayeri. Let me know if you've read this before. I've never heard anybody talk about it, but I found out it's a nonfiction. Yeah, I just realized that it has this cool design on the inside. Anyways, that's very random. Let me know if you've read this before. This is going in my maybe pile. Okay, y'all, let's go over the books again. This is my maybe pile. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 books. First, we have Find Me by Andre Aciman, When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, The Paris Bookseller by Carrie Maher, The Lifeguards by Amanda Iyer Ward, Black Enough, edited by E.B. Zaboy, and Everything Sad is Untrue by Daniel Nayeri. So from this stack, let me know if you've read any of these books and if you want to see me keep them or read them in a reading vlog. I would love to know before I get rid of these, because if I don't think about these in the next like month and I forget they exist, then they're going. They're going. This is my I'm definitely getting rid of these stack. It is a lot heftier than the other one, which is good because that's what we like to see in unhauls. I'm going to count really quick how many books this stack holds. Okay, it's 10 books, which is not that bad, but I wish it was more, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just really bad at unhauling books is my thing. Okay? So this is the best we can do right now. First up, we have Memorial by Brian Washington, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith, Double Blind by Edward St. Aubin, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce, Cherish Farah by Bethany C. Morrow, A Burning by Megha Majumdar, The Kindest Lie by Nancy Johnson, How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson, and Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. Alright y'all, so that was my little mini book unhaul. I hope you enjoyed. As I said before, I will have my Pango listed in the description down below. You can shop my books, the ones that I'm getting rid of. So if you don't want to follow me on Pango, you can follow me or friend me on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Storygraph, or Goodreads. I have all of those social medias and I always have them linked in the description down below, so follow me or friend me on those. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I try to post once a week. If you've made it this far into the video, comment the book stack emoji because obviously I got some book stacks going, with the maybe pile that's to my left and then the unhaul pile, which is to my right. We got quite the book stack. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.